I literally pushed a bike to this point on the trail, only about halfway, but I pushed it because I wanted to leave all the cards and the hang tags in place. I just unboxed this about 30 minutes ago. Got it assembled, and now I'm out on the trail with it. Gonna give it a first ride and a first look. This is the new Schwinn Axum Comp X. I don't know if you've seen this on the Walmart website. I've had these in the box for probably 2 months, but I couldn't talk about them even after they listed them on the Walmart website. It's a 29er. There's specs on the website, some of which tip off some of the goodness. There's some things that I think don't get enough mention or enough focus, and then there's some curiosities. So let's get started. We're going to run through this component by component, starting up top, and then I'll give it a ride down the KevCentral sponsored trail, and we'll see how it does. Let's start up top at these bars. Little things I've started looking for now. Indexing marks. These are a little different than I usually see, but a 31.8 diameter, decently wide. How wide? I don't have my measuring tape that is metric, so we're going to have to go by inches and do a conversion. Roughly 30 inches. So decently wide for out of the box for a big box bike. And we might as well, while we're here, get a rough look at the measurement on this stem. Let me get that at about the middle. This will be more or less that. But yeah, this is a pretty good look. I like the sweep. I like everything about this setup up top so far. Bar compliments, rubber grips. These are lock-ons, a single point lock-on. Beside that, a trigger shifter, quick angle change. 8-speed micro shift acolyte. Beside that, these are mechanical 2-finger brake levers, but I don't think I've seen this particular style before. It's just different. It is metal, so there's that. These are mechanical disc brakes, and you can see there, Jaguar cabling. So on the right side, that's our setup. Let's look on the left here. We have 2 of the same things and another lever. But that lever, that's a dropper remote. More on that in a second. Head tube, Schwinn branded tapered. That means you can use a tapered fork. The included fork, not tapered. It's kind of the usual, but this is the upgraded usual. We've seen these since 2020. It's Schwinn branded, kind of on the entry-level Sun Tour caliber. This has a manual lockout, a preload adjuster, and that looks like about tape measure time. Once again, we'll be doing some calculating, but there's the suspension travel. And just to show you, that's not a tapered. It does have a nice supporting arch. Compared to what we used to get, these are a welcome sight. Another welcome sight, quick release wheel. My wheel card already tearing off. Had this on the back of the car on the way here, but 29-inch wheel size. Rider height 5'4" to 5'8". I disagree with that. You'll see why in a moment. Rims, Schwinn branded. These are, they're decent little rims. The hubs, nothing special. The tread on these tires, these are wider tires, and they have that so-so kind of get it done for an entry-level trail rider. But the tires themselves, they are Chow Yangs, and they're wide. 29 by 2.60. The drivetrain, polymer Schwinn branded pedals, 170 millimeter alloy crank arms, a single chainring. This is all stuff we've seen now for about going on 4 years now. With Schwinn's, they kind of pioneered this for big box bikes, and that's a single 30-tooth chainring. We get to the back and things get a little different. This is a micro shift acolyte derailleur with a clutch. That is right, a clutched derailleur that isn't a Pro Rush. Welcome news. Replaceable derailleur hanger on this aluminum frame. And that is a micro shift cassette, a 12 to 46 tooth cassette. 12 to 46 tooth, 30 tooth up front, and an acolyte clutched derailleur. Probably the best out of the box Axum drivetrain that we've seen yet. Let's go back to those brakes and back to that different brake lever for a different brake up front. A 180 millimeter rotor, Schwinn labeled, and there you can see the quick release for that front wheel. These are generic mechanical disc brakes, but I like the 180 up front. At the rear, we also have a quick release and a 160 rotor back here. front spacing, 100 rear spacing. I'll measure this as soon as I get back home and put that on your screen. A peep at the bottom bracket and look at this frame. I like that. I like that lower, that reverse chainstay or opposite chainstay. And the little curve out for the seat stay. Let's look at how much room we have here. This is a 2.60 tire. You can see there's some extra room up top, not so much down there. And don't get me wrong, that's acceptable. It's just made for this tire and not anything any wider. I will say it can accept a higher knob. So you can put knobbier 29 by 2.60s, just not wider than 2.60. The frame, a beautiful red colored frame. This comes in sized frames. This is the medium. And they make this in two sizes currently, at least that I see on the Walmart website, a 16.5 and an 18-inch. And because the box tells me that this is a medium, I can tell you that the medium is a 16.5. But this is a nice frame. The welds look good, reinforcing all over. And I like this kind of curve that has. You see that? The top tube has this sweeping curve. The down tube, kind of rectangular, that Schwinn branding. That's not a sticker. It's clear coated over, I'm assuming. There's some matte clear coat on this and a little extra reinforcing nook there. A nice looking frame. I've already looked at the back of it for you. But there's something about this frame. I'm sure you've already spotted it. I don't know. Let me just show it to you. That is external cable routing. There is internal cable routing followed by external cable routing. On this channel, I regularly say one thing. I say they're listening to us because we ask for things and we get it kind of built. A lot of good bikes, or manufacturers have built a lot of good bikes based on the things that KevCentral viewers say they want. And I'm wondering how much of that is part of this decision. I upgrade a lot of bikes, and I've said many times that routing a hydraulic line through internal cable routing for the average budget bike upgrader means a trip to the bike shop to spend to do that. Well, there's just complexities involved. So I've said in the past that I kind of wish external cable routing would make a comeback. Well, this is a hybrid of sorts, internal, external, and again, I'm wondering if they did that because of us. I like it, but I wonder in a 2024 marketplace if this is going to be welcome. This would be a good litmus test. We'll find out if that's welcome or not. And you know, looking at it, it doesn't look the best, but it is functionally the best as far as budget upgrades go. And also, you'll notice that curving in, going internally, that is for the Exaform dropper post. Remember that lever up on the bars? That one, that's an Axum. They were the first ones to do it. Schwinn with the Axum, they had the Axum DP. Thank goodness they've renamed that. The Axum Comp X. Now the dropper post equipped bike of their lineup, two frame sizes, an aluminum frame with those nice curves. Yeah, not a bad setup so far. I like the look of it. I like some of this equipment. Now it's time to push it up to the trail. Actually, now that I've done this, I'm going to take these cards out. I'm going to clip those off, and I'm going to ride it up this trail, and we're going to get it to Magnolia, the KevCentral sponsored trail that people have started calling Magrolia. I'm hoping that sticks. Actually, before I do that, let's look at this card. Again, that sizing, which I do question. This is the 16.5 frame. I'm 5'10". I fit fine on this, but it could go down, definitely. Down for riders 5'4" to 5'8". But I think up to 5'10", not a problem here on this frame. But there's the slot number, there's the barcode number. Let's see if there's, sometimes there's the details. Nope, it's just back and forth. And of course the Schwinn owner's manual. Now this comes off, this comes out, and then it's time to ride. I gave you a few seconds to hear the drivetrain, nice and smooth, and this was out of the box, no adjustments. One metric that I base bikes on now is how easy I can climb with them, And I chose the straight up path on this side of Wildwood because it's an incline that can rapidly wear me out. And this bike has that 30 tooth up front and the 46 tooth low gear, making this tolerable. And that's modern big box bike riding. Also, no worries with toes rubbing on the tires of a big box 29er. Remember when that was a thing? A quick pit stop to place another KevCentral magnet. If you ride Wildwood, be on the lookout for the magnets and the KevCentral buttons. Okay, let's run this down Magnolia and get a first ride impression. Big box bikes in general have improved a lot. And it was Schwinn that sort of threw the gauntlet down in 2020 with a slew of awesome new bikes. And then it became a small trickle here and there. The TAF Comp comes to mind. This and the other new Axums you'll soon be seeing on this channel are the first major releases in a while, at least as far as Schwinn mountain bikes sold through Walmart go. They already had a good foundation, all they have to do is not mess it up, and a few curves into the trail I can tell you, this is a good riding bike. I'm sure you could hear me shifting the Acolyte just a few seconds ago. It shifts smooth and crisp, but you can also hear it making some noise. But the clutch is doing its job even later in the day. When I took it over some roots, it made noise, but it never had a chain drop. I also want to note, this is out-of-the-box performance from that drivetrain. I didn't adjust anything on that or the brakes, so all I did was put the handlebars on and tighten things down to a proper torque spec. And I tried to slow things down a bit, move my camera down to give you a look at the suspension fork at work. It's not really a good shot, but it's obviously built just to be enough, but with future upgrades in mind. This is adequate though for entry-level trail riding. Surprises. The tires. 2.60 buys some wiggle room when it comes to grip, but I've ridden tires with these small type knobbies before on these same trails, and those were slippery. These Chaoyang 2.60s, they're doing a good job. The other main standout, the bars and the overall geometry put me in a sweet spot. It's all working together. I'll be giving you some geometry details in an upcoming video. I made it to the end of the trail, a first ride on this Schwinn Axum Comp X, dropper equipped out of the box. Nice wide bars. You know, that was actually a fun ride. A really, really good. Too short, I'll be coming back to this bike. More trail footage. But that was a good ride. Now this Acolyte is a little noisy, but it didn't drop. I didn't have any chain problems. And this range, that's enough. 12 to 46 tooth and a cassette. Pair that with the Acolyte, a clutched derailleur, and a 30 tooth up front. That's pretty good. The tires grip better than I thought they would with this tread. The width does help them, but these Chaoyangs, definitely a good tire for out here at Wildwood. The suspension fork, I tried to show you an exaggerated form of it working, but you can see I'm getting every bit of that travel out of this fork. It's enough. Look, the secret of this bike, it comes dropper equipped. It's set up decently. The bars, I mean, basically, I could take this bike, I could put a different fork on it, and I could upgrade to hydraulic disc brakes, and it's gonna work, and that's gonna be easy thanks to that external cable routing on the other side. I'm curious what most people are gonna think about this. I view it as a positive. I really do. It's kind of that hybrid. Normally, I just don't see this. A half internal, half external. What do you think? And I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but this dropper post, that's 125 millimeters. That's my first look at the Axum Comp X and my first look at a slew of new Axum bikes. Be sure to tune in, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss anything. Thanks for watching and have a great day.